Yayasan Dana Pendidikan Buddhist Nalanda berdiri sejak tahun 1976 yang saat ini lebih dikenal dengan Nalanda Foundation. Pada tahun 1978, Yayasan Nalanda mendirikan Akademi Buddhist Nalanda yang berlokasi di kawasan Keramat Raya, Jakarta Pusat dengan program studi Dharma Acarya. Seiring dengan berjalannya waktu pada tahun 1987, Akademi Buddhist Nalanda berubah menjadi Sekolah Tinggi Agama Buddha yang merupakan sekolah tinggi agama Buddha pertama di Indonesia. Tahun 2004, kegiatan perkuliahan dipindahkan ke kampus Nalanda yang beralamatkan di Jalan Pulau Gebang Permai nomor 107, Kecamatan Cakung, Jakarta Timur. Selang beberapa tahun, bertambah program studi Pasca Sarjana Dharma Acarya di tahun 2012 dan program studi Strata 1 Dharma Usada di tahun 2013. Mulai dari tahun 2017, Yayasan Nalanda terus melakukan transformasi untuk menjadikan Sekolah Tinggi Agama Buddha Nalanda lebih baik. Selain menambah program studi, penambahan serta perbaikan fasilitas dilakukan dengan mendirikan asrama untuk putra-putri. Selain itu, juga renovasi gedung perkuliahan, pembangunan taman agar menambah nilai keindahan kampus. Semakin berkembang dengan pesat Nalanda menghadirkan 3 program studi baru pada tahun 2022. Hal ini menjadikan Sekolah Tinggi Agama Buddha Nalanda memiliki 6 program studi, yaitu Strata 1 dan Strata 2 Pendidikan Keagamaan Buddha, Strata 1 Dharma Usada, dan 3 program studi baru, Strata 1 Ilmu Komunikasi Buddha, Strata 1 Bisnis dan Manajemen Buddha, serta Strata 1 Pendidikan Buddha Anak Usia Dini. Nalanda juga aktif melakukan kegiatan-kegiatan yang menunjang kegiatan akademik dan membentuk mahasiswa berkarakter dan berbudi luhur, seperti kegiatan perkuliahan mahasiswa, puja bakti rutin oleh mahasiswa asrama, bakti sosial, seminar, wisudana sarjana, dan dis natalis. Hal yang menarik dalam kegiatan wisuda adalah tradisi membasuh kaki orang tua oleh wisudawan-wisudawati. Sejak awal didirikan hingga saat ini, Nalanda telah mencetak ratusan sarjana berkompeten dan berkarakter yang siap mengabdi dalam masyarakat.
Ph.D. in Global Buddhism ini sangat memberikan dampak yang luas dalam ranah akademik, sosial maupun kebijakan publik, dan harapan kami lulusan dari program ini dapat berperan dalam perumusan kebijakan berbasis nilai Buddhism, menjawab tantangan global, dan juga bisa mencegah terjadinya persoalan konflik antar umat beragama atau antar agama. Selain itu, program ini juga bisa memperkuat posisi Institut Nalanda dalam mewujudkan kerjasama internasional, publikasi ilmiah, serta menjadi pusat pengembangan ilmu pengetahuan dan berkontribusi bagi akademik dengan kebijakan berbasis spiritualitas.
Yayasan Dana Pendidikan Buddhist Nalanda berdiri sejak tahun 1976 yang saat ini lebih dikenal dengan Nalanda Foundation. Pada tahun 1978, Yayasan Nalanda mendirikan Akademi Buddhist Nalanda yang berlokasi di kawasan Keramat Raya, Jakarta Pusat dengan program studi Dharma Acarya. Seiring dengan berjalannya waktu pada tahun 1987, Akademi Buddhist Nalanda berubah menjadi Sekolah Tinggi Agama Buddha yang merupakan sekolah tinggi agama Buddha pertama di Indonesia. Tahun 2004, kegiatan perkuliahan dipindahkan ke kampus Nalanda yang beralamatkan di Jalan Pulau Gebang Permai nomor 107, Kecamatan Cakung, Jakarta Timur. Selang beberapa tahun, bertambah program studi Pasca Sarjana Dharma Acarya di tahun 2012 dan program studi Strata 1 Dharma Usada di tahun 2013. Mulai dari tahun 2017, Yayasan Nalanda terus melakukan transformasi untuk menjadikan Sekolah Tinggi Agama Buddha Nalanda lebih baik. Selain menambah program studi, penambahan serta perbaikan fasilitas dilakukan dengan mendirikan asrama untuk putra-putri. Selain itu, juga renovasi gedung perkuliahan, pembangunan taman agar menambah nilai keindahan kampus. Semakin berkembang dengan pesat Nalanda menghadirkan 3 program studi baru pada tahun 2022. Hal ini menjadikan Sekolah Tinggi Agama Buddha Nalanda memiliki 6 program studi, yaitu Strata 1 dan Strata 2 Pendidikan Keagamaan Buddha, Strata 1 Dharma Usada, dan 3 program studi baru, Strata 1 Ilmu Komunikasi Buddha, Strata 1 Bisnis dan Manajemen Buddha, serta Strata 1 Pendidikan Buddha Anak Usia Dini. Nalanda juga aktif melakukan kegiatan-kegiatan yang menunjang kegiatan akademik dan membentuk mahasiswa berkarakter dan berbudi luhur, seperti kegiatan perkuliahan mahasiswa, puja bakti rutin oleh mahasiswa asrama, bakti sosial, seminar, wisudana sarjana, dan dis natalis. Hal yang menarik dalam kegiatan wisuda adalah tradisi membasuh kaki orang tua oleh wisudawan-wisudawati. Sejak awal didirikan hingga saat ini, Nalanda telah mencetak ratusan sarjana berkompeten dan berkarakter yang siap mengabdi dalam masyarakat. Yayasan Dana Pendidikan Buddhist Nalanda berdiri sejak tahun 1976 yang saat ini lebih dikenal dengan Nalanda Foundation. Pada tahun 1978, Yayasan Nalanda mendirikan Akademi Buddhist Nalanda yang berlokasi di kawasan Keramat Raya, Jakarta Pusat dengan program studi Dharma Acarya. Seiring dengan berjalannya waktu pada tahun 1987, Akademi Buddhist Nalanda berubah menjadi Sekolah Tinggi Agama Buddha yang merupakan sekolah tinggi agama Buddha pertama di Indonesia. Tahun 2004, kegiatan perkuliahan dipindahkan ke kampus Nalanda yang beralamatkan di Jalan Pulau Gebang Permai nomor 107, Kecamatan Cakung, Jakarta Timur. Selang beberapa tahun, bertambah program studi Pasca Sarjana Dharma Acarya di tahun 2012 dan program studi Strata 1 Dharma Usada di tahun 2013. Mulai dari tahun 2017, Yayasan Nalanda terus melakukan transformasi untuk menjadikan Sekolah Tinggi Agama Buddha Nalanda lebih baik. Selain menambah program studi, penambahan serta perbaikan fasilitas dilakukan dengan mendirikan asrama untuk putra-putri. Selain itu, juga renovasi gedung perkuliahan, pembangunan taman agar menambah nilai keindahan kampus. Semakin berkembang dengan pesat Nalanda menghadirkan 3 program studi baru pada tahun 2022. Hal ini menjadikan Sekolah Tinggi Agama Buddha Nalanda memiliki 6 program studi, yaitu Strata 1 dan Strata 2 Pendidikan Keagamaan Buddha, Strata 1 Dharma Usada, dan 3 program studi baru, Strata 1 Ilmu Komunikasi Buddha, Strata 1 Bisnis dan Manajemen Buddha, serta Strata 1 Pendidikan Buddha Anak Usia Dini. Nalanda juga aktif melakukan kegiatan-kegiatan yang menunjang kegiatan akademik dan membentuk mahasiswa berkarakter dan berbudi luhur, seperti kegiatan perkuliahan mahasiswa, puja bakti rutin oleh mahasiswa asrama, bakti sosial, seminar, wisudana sarjana, dan dis natalis. Hal yang menarik dalam kegiatan wisuda adalah tradisi membasuh kaki orang tua oleh wisudawan-wisudawati. Sejak awal didirikan hingga saat ini, Nalanda telah mencetak ratusan sarjana berkompeten dan berkarakter yang siap mengabdi dalam masyarakat.
Program Ph.D. in Global Buddhism ini sangat memberikan dampak yang luas dalam ranah akademik, sosial maupun kebijakan publik, dan harapan kami lulusan dari program ini dapat berperan dalam perumusan kebijakan berbasis nilai Buddhism, menjawab tantangan global, dan juga bisa mencegah terjadinya persoalan konflik antar umat beragama atau antar agama. Selain itu, program ini juga bisa memperkuat posisi Institut Nalanda dalam mewujudkan kerjasama internasional, publikasi ilmiah, serta menjadi pusat pengembangan ilmu pengetahuan dan berkontribusi bagi akademik dengan kebijakan berbasis spiritualitas.
Yayasan Dana Pendidikan Buddhis Nalanda berdiri sejak tahun 1976 yang saat ini lebih dikenal dengan Nalanda Foundation. Pada tahun 1978, Yayasan Nalanda mendirikan Akademi Buddhis Nalanda yang berlokasi di kawasan Keramat Raya, Jakarta Pusat dengan program studi Dharma Acarya. Seiring dengan berjalannya waktu, pada tahun 1987, Akademi Buddhis Nalanda berubah menjadi Sekolah Tinggi Agama Buddha yang merupakan sekolah tinggi agama Buddha pertama di Indonesia. Tahun 2004, kegiatan perkuliahan dipindahkan ke kampus Nalanda yang beralamatkan di Jalan Pulau Gebang Permai nomor 107, Kecamatan Cakung, Jakarta Timur. Selang beberapa tahun, bertambah program studi pasca sarjana Dharma Acarya di tahun 2012 dan program studi strata 1 Dharma Usada di tahun 2013. Mulai dari tahun 2017, Yayasan Nalanda terus melakukan transformasi untuk menjadikan Sekolah Tinggi Agama Buddha Nalanda lebih baik. Selain menambah program studi, penambahan serta perbaikan fasilitas dilakukan dengan mendirikan asrama untuk putra-putri. Selain itu, juga renovasi gedung perkuliahan, pembangunan taman agar menambah nilai keindahan kampus. Semakin berkembang dengan pesat Nalanda menghadirkan 3 program studi baru pada tahun 2022. Hal ini menjadikan Sekolah Tinggi Agama Buddha Nalanda memiliki 6 program studi, yaitu Strata 1 dan Strata 2 Pendidikan Keagamaan Buddha, Strata 1 Dharma Usada, dan 3 program studi baru, Strata 1 Ilmu Komunikasi Buddha, Strata 1 Bisnis dan Manajemen Buddha, serta Strata 1 Pendidikan Buddha Anak Usia Dini. Nalanda juga aktif melakukan kegiatan-kegiatan yang menunjang kegiatan akademik dan membentuk mahasiswa berkarakter dan berbudi luhur, seperti kegiatan perkuliahan mahasiswa, puja bakti rutin oleh mahasiswa asrama, bakti sosial, seminar, wisudana sarjana, dan dis natalis. Hal yang menarik dalam kegiatan wisuda adalah tradisi membasuh kaki orang tua oleh wisudawan-wisudawati. Sejak awal didirikan hingga saat ini, Nalanda telah mencetak ratusan sarjana berkompeten dan berkarakter yang siap mengabdi dalam masyarakat.
Program Ph.D in Global Buddhism ini sangat memberikan dampak yang luas dalam ranah akademik, sosial maupun kebijakan publik, dan harapan kami lulusan dari program ini dapat berperan dalam perumusan kebijakan berbasis nilai Buddhism, menjawab tantangan global, dan juga bisa mencegah terjadinya persoalan konflik antar umat beragama atau antar agama. Selain itu, program ini juga bisa memperkuat posisi Institut Nalanda dalam mewujudkan kerjasama internasional, publikasi ilmiah, serta menjadi pusat pengembangan ilmu pengetahuan dan berkontribusi bagi akademik dengan kebijakan berbasis spiritualitas.
Demi bangsa. Nalanda, jaya jayalah, jayalah selama-lamanya. Nalanda, jaya jayalah, jayalah selama-lamanya. Jayalah selama-lamanya.
will be spread to the whole world, and everybody will adapt to that, will apply that technological instruments in their lifestyles. And the economy is a globally connected. Whatever happens in one corner of the world will affect the whole world. As far as the recent tariffs imposed by Donald Trump is affecting the whole economic system in the whole throughout the world. And also this society is also evolving simultaneously, which means that it's not a gradual process like before. Any idea that emerged at one corner of the world, for example, those political ideas that first emerged in Europe and then in America, then spread rapidly to the Asia, and that's why our countries became democratic, communist, or whatever the form of governance system that we are applying our governments, our systems. So in that manner, the whole world is interconnected, and all these things can have, of course, they have positive effects, positive impacts. They are creating a lot of opportunities through innovation, entrepreneurship, and new career path. So there are a lot of opportunities and positive impact that created through this disruption, which is this rapidly evolvement or rapidly changing world systems. And also, it's also imposing challenges to job displacement. People who did not quickly adapt to these new technologies, learn these new technologies and skills, are being left behind. They are not getting jobs. The job market is not enough to give jobs to all the people who have learned those traditional conservative in those traditional and conservative educational systems are mostly unemployed. Only the group of people who rapidly learn these technological and scientific new knowledge has become people who are competent to engage in those jobs that are available for in the IT sector, and technological sectors. They are having jobs, but people who did not adapt to those elements are being left behind and being unemployed, or either they do not have those enough skills to enter into the skilled labor market. They are underpaid due to that unskilled nature, and so they are getting advantages by those superior powers, the economic powerful people who always try to get the best advantage on those people who are uneducated and unskilled in that manner. And therefore, there's this growing inequality throughout the world, where those countries which adapted and which innovated and adapted and advanced and developed through these new technologies and new technological innovations are getting all the benefits nowadays, and they are enjoying all the benefits and all the opportunities and all the comforts that they could possibly gain, but leaving behind those communities and countries and people who were marginalized, who were oppressed, who did not get that equal opportunity in education and in job and in occupations. So that's basically what this this era of disruption and its implications in summary. So when it comes to ASEAN countries such as Thailand and Indonesia, so how does this affect us, and what are the risks and problems that this disruption or this rapid change and advancement has caused in our region, especially the ASEAN region, which Thailand and Indonesia are member, and as a community these countries, all these 10 countries are trying to develop their countries up to par with all those other nations or other regions, and that also poses all this tech dependency due to not having our own technological or advanced technological improvement, or we have to depend on those technologies produced by those powerful nations, especially those Western nations. And nowadays, China and Japan has also being developed and coming into the competition with those Western superpowers. And this tech dependency, we have become the people in the ASEAN and Southeast Asia, and also in other these kind of still developing countries, always have to follow the initiatives, follow the trends or the technologies that have been rendered to us by those superpowers. So that's a risk, that's a disadvantage that we are encountering, or that we have to face right now, that have caused by this era of disruption. And cultural homogenization, which is that with these technologies and these innovative initiatives are produced from the Western, mostly from the Western influences, all those cultural influences from the Western world are affecting all other countries, because we have to be the receiver. We are the receiver of all those creations and innovations. So all those creations and innovations are based on Western ideologies, Western values, norms, beliefs. So we have become a mere receptives of those cultural innovations that the media, social media, is imposing on us. Those advertisements, those trends are influencing our generation and our thinking, our way of thinking, our lifestyle and everything. So this cultural homogenization is happening, and those unique cultures, those traditional cultures and uniqueness are losing its roots, are decreasing and losing its concentration. And but we should not look it only as a risk, only as a disadvantage, but there are opportunities there. If we can acquire, if you can if you can acquire those opportunities, it can be beneficial to us. We should to acquire those opportunities, we have to be innovative. The local knowledge, innovation based on our local knowledge, which is an opportunity that we can produce our own cultures, own way of thinking, own way of life, based on our own values, based on our own ideas, based on our own ideals, our own belief systems and norms. So we should be innovative in advancing or in spreading, or we should be innovative in making our own those unique aspects be heard, be known, be the norm of the world. So to do that, we have to be innovative. And the critical thinking and problem solving models. So to do that, it's very important that especially our higher educational systems should encourage not only higher education, I would say the whole educational system in our countries should advocate critical thinking and problem solving models. So our educators who are engaged in higher educational system, and also the students who will be in the higher educational system should be stimulated, should be should be encouraged to have this critical thinking and problem solving skills. So that's a very important thing, and that is something that I have observed that is lacking in most of these ASEAN countries, because I would refer to Thailand, where I have a lot of more experience than Indonesia. So even in Thailand, Buddhist religious education system still using those traditional conservative way of learning and teaching, in the memorizing the things, not the critical thinking and problem solving knowledge are not taught, are not rendered to those students in those areas. And also when we look into these even secular education and higher education in Thailand, I can see that still they are fixated in those conservative and in those traditional way of thinking, traditional way of teaching, traditional way of learning, without actually encouraging their students to have the critical thinking and problem solving skills. And also, with the era of disruption, there are a lot of technologies are developing, and the communication and the transmission of physical and non-physical things are very rapidly. That is very quickly we can reach people in all over the world. So we can use this aspect in our advantage. ASEAN countries should get into collaborations, should get into to work together for the benefit of our ASEAN community. So from that, I would like to, when talking about the higher education, I still observe that the higher education system, especially I can refer to Thailand, is still using heavily on Western frameworks. We are using the models that are imported from the West, so that's are often rigid and they are often mismatched, and they are not really suitable to be used in our own context, in our own cultural, religious, and environmental or context. So therefore, we should rethink, we should reevaluate all these stances that we are having towards higher education, especially those higher education ministries and all those higher education committees that are controlling or that are guiding the higher education system in Thailand, in all other most of these our ASEAN and Asian countries, also in South Asian countries, are still fixated on those traditional and conservative ideas. And all those traditional and conservative ideas are, when we look critically into those traditional and conservative way of education, we can see that it has this colonial mentality. The education are imposed on us by those colonial powers. We are also trying to adapt and to adjust our way of life to be suitable to serve those colonial powers. The way of we can see that from the brain drain that is happening in our countries. So we produce people who are intelligent, who through our education system, whoever is educated, whoever is skilled, whoever is well versed or well intellectual, will be his ultimate goal, his ultimate destination will be those powerful Western countries. Their dream would be to get higher education in our ASEAN countries, and then, however, migrate to those Western developed countries. So this kind of mentality is causing the brain drain. The people who can support, who can actually work on developing these areas, these regions, are moving to those countries and contributing to that superpowers who are already using the system into their own benefit and own gain. So this kind of brain drain should be stopped. So to do that, we should get rid of this colonial mentality that we are automatically culturally socialized into to be submissive, to be feeling inferior towards with comparison to those Western ideas, those Western cultures, those Western way of life, those way of thinking. And even we can see that even the theories that we use in OBE, the way of the education is nowadays being developed in Thailand, all those theories are from the Western thinkers. And also almost all of the scholarly articles that have been published in those Scopus index or all those high-ranked journals somehow have to always use those theories that were developed by the Western people. Otherwise, we cannot voice our own ideas. Otherwise, we cannot have our own theories. We are not still using those theories developed in this region. So that's an effect of this colonial mentality, and that all this systematically we are socialized to be that way. So we should reevaluate, we should reimagine, we should rethink how we will build our own identity, how we will build our own uniqueness and develop from there. So the flexibility in ontological standpoint. So yeah, so when we always look upward to those Western thinkers' theories, we always use those theories that were imposed on us by those Western thinkers and try and somehow I've found that all our countries are giving priority to the positivist way of thinking, to the deductive way of research, are being given the priority. The most budgets of the national research councils are allocated only to those positivist based way of researchers. So we are not encouraging our people to think creatively. We are always trying to get to borrow a theory from the Western and try to impose that on our own context, our own regional context. And then those kind of thinking, ontological standpoints are being advocated, being promoted and being supported by those budget allocation systems. The most of the budgets will be allocated to those kind of researchers. The researchers which are interpretivist, or those are inductive, are not really getting the support, getting the recognition. And also furthermore, all those researchers or educations, the researchers and studies that are based on humanities are given the least priority or the least support, and is in the least level of ranking. So this kind of mental should be changed. We should promote all the holistic way of learning, holistic way of research, and holistic way of integrating all these ontological and epistemological way of studying and research into they should be promoted and supported. So that would be a solution to the problem that I just mentioned. and also, yeah, the space for diverse worldview. So similarly, local knowledge systems and community wisdom, we have our own medical knowledge, herbal medical knowledge are not really promoted. The traditional Thai therapeutic methods like Thai massage system, they are not really advocated, but we always, we have that mentality that we have to go to a consult a doctor in a hospital that are Western educated or Western medicine. Those pills, we should always take those pills that the Western companies produce for us. So in this kind of things are that are affecting our productivity, affecting our creativity, and also affecting our innovative strategies, so innovative creations. So therefore, higher education systems in these ASEAN countries should advocate innovations rooted in ASEAN realities. Based on, we should promote our own knowledge, our own knowledge about herbal medicine should be given the support or funding to develop, to do those experiments, and then promote that traditional medicinal approaches, and also those holistic way of well-being, whether we have all the physical and psychological, mental well-being that based on our own religious and ethical and traditional way of thinking. For example, meditation or mindfulness, when it comes to Buddhism, meditation and mindfulness way of thinking and the mindfulness way of living are actually a holistic way of both psychological and physiological and psychological and mental well-being, a holistic approach. So this kind of approach should be promoted, not those. But what has actually happened, the mindfulness, which actually have the root in this our Asian way of thinking and Asian religions, and especially Buddhism, did not get enough attention when it was our own identity, our own way of life. But as soon as Western scholars or practitioners brought that into Western mindfulness, MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction, or John Kabat-Zinn, the mindfulness pioneer. So as long as he took that there, then it became something we can accept. That mindfulness becomes something that our medical institution have started to promote. So this and that has become something they have proven to be actually valid and actually effective in mental well-being of people. So only then after it has become something a Western glorified or Western label, only then the mindfulness has become a trend or become something that should be promoted throughout the world and in our region. So that's my point in that aspect. Yeah, so ASEAN values in education should be promoted. Harmony in diversity or unity in diversity. So despite our differences in culture, language, way of life, regions, environments, or religions, but we should have this united. We should be united as ASEANs, as the countries in this region, to collaboratively develop, like what we are trying to do here. As we know, Nalanda Institute has reached to us, and we are academically collaborating, and we are collaborating to bring the Buddhist studies into Indonesia, and the first ever Ph.D. program in Indonesia, PhD in Global Buddhism in Indonesia, have been launched through the Nalanda Institute, and with the collaboration with our institute and our department and our Center of Global Buddhism. So this kind of unity, this kind of collaborations are very much needed to promote or to upgrade or to enhance the education in our region, and community-based knowledge, village wisdom, ecological practices. So as you just saw from the presentation given by our Deputy Director, Ms. Ada Mary, that our program is not a Buddhist studies program, is not a traditional memorizing a way of just studying the scriptures and that kind of program, Buddhist studies program. But we are integrating all those modern knowledges, modern technologies, and also we are promoting, with the advice of our founder, Assistant Professor Yaoping Liu, we are promoting, or he's always emphasizing that we should promote our own wisdom, the Buddhist wisdom in our own regional areas, whether it's in Thailand. When it comes to Thailand, we can divide into northern, northeastern, southern, central. So all these local village-based wisdom should be promoted, should be presented should be taken into consideration in the process of thinking how to move forward. So that's a very important aspect that we can promote. We can be innovative, and we can be uniquely in ourselves. We can retain our self-identity. We can be more confident, because we do not have to imitate the Western always. We don't have to imitate all the Western ideas and way of life, or we can promote our own ideas and own way of lives. So that when it comes to something that comes into the academic discussion, or when it comes to something that's a norm or that's become a normal, then that will not be something that is to feel inferior about. So this kind of promoting these wisdom, local or religious based, Buddhism based, community based knowledge should be promoted and should be disseminated. People should see what's happening here. Only then that they can have the dignity, they can have that power in negotiation, in negotiating, in adapting, in developing. So that's something. And spirituality and ethics and social responsibility. Spiritually, of course, as I just mentioned, as we are doing by promoting this Global Buddhism program in Thailand and now in Indonesia, we are trying to fill the gap or fill the void that is there, that has been created by this disruptive world. As we can see nowadays, despite all these technological and advancements, but still have we human beings reached a point that we are really mentally satisfied? Are we really mentally content? Are we really even physically feel the comfort or the security that we ought to feel, that we were trained to believe that through all these innovations, through all these multicultural programs, that the world will be a very peaceful place where there will no discrimination, there will be no any racism. So has that happened with all this advancement, technological or whatever that has advanced? has that really happened? But I doubt so. I don't think so. When we look into the news today, where Israel and Palestine are fighting, and Iran is joining the fight, and when it comes to India and Pakistan is fighting, and when it's go to Ukraine and Russia, they are fighting, and when it comes to our own ASEAN communities, very recently we saw that these kind of disputes that's going with Cambodia and Thailand. So in this manner, have we developed actually? Have we reached to a point where we are spiritually, ethically, and feeling the comfort, feeling the security that we, or the happiness that we all desire for? I don't think so. So in that manner, so there is this gap that we can be filled by our own spiritual and ethical practice that we have based on our own religions, and also in our own religions and our spiritual practices. So these aspects also should be promoted. So that's what we are doing through our Global Buddhism program. We are promoting all this spirituality, ethical livelihood, and also in hand with new technological knowledge and new scientific knowledge. We are integrating all those elements and creating this Global Buddhism program. So yeah, collective well-being over your individualism. Individualism has become the trademark of Western, especially American way of ideologies and political system. Individualism has been promoted by those democratic or capitalist way of life. So this collective well-being of individuals should be promoted. The capitalist democratic ideologies have ingrained into our psyches, our minds, that individualism is the way. But we should go beyond that. We should be decolonizing all these colonial mentalities and decolonizing, and we should apply these postmodernist ideas and postmodernist kind of critical thinking into think about what's actually happening in the world today, and be united as one human race, as people who are interconnected, who are experiencing all these problems, especially in this global world. We cannot live independently, we cannot live separately. And also as ASEAN communities, ASEAN countries, we should leave behind all these religious, all these language barriers, but we should be united in working towards a common goal of prosperity to everyone. It's not like when the China is developing, the Western world trying to impose all those sanctions and all those tariffs to deter that development. It shouldn't be like in that way. We should collaboratively, as a one human race, we should collaboratively try to prosper every country. It's not that when Thailand develop, you don't want Cambodia to. That kind of mentality should be erased. So that can be done, I believe, through spiritual and ethical way of thinking. So reimagining gradual attributes. So ASEAN higher education should produce local innovators, not imitators, and critical thinkers, aware of their own context. I kind of elaborated on that earlier. And ethical leaders rooted in local values. I just emphasized. And flexible ontological thinkers, as I just mentioned. The education system should not impose those frameworks or those boxed way of thinking epistemologically, methodologically, or the way of presenting. It should be give the creativity, space for creativity, space for critical thinking, space for nuanced understanding, space for holistic thinking or holistic understanding of phenomena or the issues or problems, and then thinking how to go beyond that. We should not imply only one dimension of looking into one angle or one theory into looking into a problem, but we should look into one problem in different angles. We should not only view problems objectively through positivist attitudes, but we should look into problems both objectively and also interpretively and in constructive manner, in a qualitatively and subjectively, that we can see what each person are thinking, what are their experiences, what are their ideas, what are their views. So we should integrate all those opinions into consideration when coming to all these policies, all these regulations, all these innovations, or all these implementations on higher education. Yeah, so I believe we have the potential to change or to prosper and to develop with educational changes and the way of looking into these problems, and with the approaches that we have implemented, reimagining and rethinking and revising those approaches would help. And when it comes to Thailand, Thai-style innovation in health and agriculture, environment should be promoted with all these, as I just mentioned, spiritual and ethical elements and way of life. So a holistic approach is the key, is that we can be unique, that what we can promote and we can prosper. And when it comes to Indonesia, the freedom to think, and to create and apply local solutions. As I understood, there are very diverse communities, ethnicities, and people speaking of various languages scattered throughout the whole Indonesia, and belief system. All these things should be taken into consideration, and all these communities, languages, and culture should be given a kind of equal priorities, or I would not only equal, but also economic. Also, they should be given according to their problems, because sometimes the marginalized communities might have more problems, and they should be heard more than the majority of the population. So this kind of giving the voice to those marginalized people would be helpful in integrating them into the system, integrating them into the socialization process, and also collaboratively and collectively prosper as a country, as a community. So we can be stepping stones for ASEAN model and not a Western imitation. So yeah, so to do that, my recommendations are to develop regional research collaborations, as we are trying to do here now with our collaborations that has just our vice director and our director just mentioned. We are collaborating with Indonesia, Thailand, and also we are networking with other countries, China, Sri Lanka, Burma, and as far as Mexico. We are bridging these regions and developing these research collaborations, and that will make us valuable. That will give a voice to our concerns, give voice to our needs, give voice to our priorities, not just what has been imposed by others towards ourselves, and build ASEAN-based digital platforms. Of course, we cannot deny that these new technologies are beneficial and affecting our way of life, our communities, no matter where we live. So we should also be prepared. We should promote, we should we should train our people to have that level of knowledge in technologies, in digital platforms, and in be creators of ideas, be influencers by themselves to influence the world, not just to be the receivers of the influence that created from other places. And empower local knowledge systems. I just mentioned that empowering the marginalized communities and integrating their knowledges and promoting, supporting their knowledge and seeking ways to support and develop those traditional knowledge is a must in order to have our own unique attributes, and encourage plural ontologies in science, technology, and humanities. So that, as I mentioned, the way of conducting research, the way of thinking when it comes to the national educational curriculum, national educational agendas should not fixate, should not narrow down to just one aspect. If that will continue, we will continue to be the producers or of only the people who will ultimately serve those already superpowers. The brain drain will still continue. We will be the backyard of all those countries where they will implant factories, use our cheap labors, and then the product to their countries and sell the same product to our countries with a higher price, gaining their own benefits and their economic and cultural hegemony will prevail in that manner. Their superiority we will be forever oppressed in the manner we are experiencing right now. So yeah, so we should invest. There should be investment in critical and creative thinking training and policy, special curriculum diversity, as I just mentioned, and support for local innovation ecosystems and cross-border programs driven by regional values, not drawn-up pressures. That comes to my conclusion that the higher education in ASEAN should be for ASEAN, by ASEAN, with ASEAN values, and not mere adoption of the West, but original innovation. So the disruption can be equal to a chance to reset for a regionally meaningful educational future. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Dr. Metia Beliat, for enlightening and also thought-provoking presentations you mentioned and you explained to us. And it is really inspiring, to know that you brought out about the ASEAN value-centered topic, because I do agree that our probably regional ASEAN is actually nowadays is really looking forward for the Western education instead of inward looking to our ASEAN region. And this itself is actually bringing the brain drain, as you mentioned before. And I think it's really, really good point that we need to get rid of colonial system as well as educations. And I think that is what Ph.D. in Global Buddhism is here for, to reclaim our roots as ASEAN-centric and traditional identity as ASEAN, Indonesia, and Thailand. And before we move, actually, there are several points that I note from Dr. Metia about the proposed and also summary. That is, we need to develop regional research collaborations, building ASEAN-based digital platform, empower local knowledge system, and also encourage plural ontology in science, technology, and humanities. And the conclusion is higher education in ASEAN needs to be refocused not only to the Western minded thing, but we need to reclaim it to the ASEAN especially Thailand and Indonesia, could be the pioneer as well to lead the higher education system in ASEAN. Okay, now let's move on to the next speaker. Now we have Professor Dr. Banjop Banaruji. It is my pleasure to introduce Professor Banjop Banaruji, and I would like to a little bit briefly introduce to every one of you the profile of Dr. Banjop Banaruji. Professor Dr. Banjop Banaruji is highly respected scholar in Buddhist studies and Pali language with a distinguished academic and professional career. Professor Banjop is a graduate of Mahachulalongkorn Rajavidyalaya University and Chulalongkorn University, and he earned his Ph.D. in philosophy from Magad University in 1997. His career has spanned numerous important roles, both before and after his retirement. He has served as a chaplain for the Thai Army, worked in Department of Religious Affairs, and held position as a lecturer at Mahachulalongkorn Rajavidyalaya University and Chulalongkorn University. Even in his retirement, he continued to contribute actively as a special lecturer on Pali and Buddhism, and also as a committee member for National Religious Dictionaries, including the Pali Tipitaka Dictionary for the Royal Council of Thailand. As an academic, Professor Banjop has played a key role in advancing Buddhist and Pali studies, and he has also authored and translated numerous works exploring both canonical texts and comparative Buddhist thought. His English language research on Asokan Theravada Buddhism, supported by the World Buddhist University, is a noted contribution to global Buddhist scholarship. Beyond academia, Professor Banjop also served as director of the Institute of Spiritual Development at the World Buddhist University and worked with the Royal Council's radio section, sharing Buddhist teaching with the wider public. His innovation efforts to connect traditional teachings with modern platform have earned him national and international recognition, including the World Buddhist Outstanding Leader Award. And without further ado, please join me in welcoming Professor Banjop, Professor Dr. Banjop Banaruji to the stage. Stage and time is yours.
Thank you, moderator, and thank you for participants. I feel happy to hear the different idea from different scholars and from different countries in ASEAN region. Everyone very kind to give a suggestion and good idea about the education. I even retired from the university 10 years ago. Okay, now I remain working in the academic field. However, I feel good about the education system because the education make at the the first best to make people have knowledge, have intelligence. However, today I heard everyone focus on the education managing system for the sake of the student. So I would like you to take interest in the meaning of education given by educational scholars. Meaning one, education is to bring forth, to bring up, equal to give birth and look after. Meaning two, the education is to train for potential. The meanings, the two meanings accord with the Sikha, the term Sikha in Pali and Siksha in Sanskrit. The literal meaning of this is to train for potential. In short, to train for potential is to make one have potential in both knowledge and morality. I focus on potential in knowledge and morality. I think that is very important point of education. Both potential in knowledge and morality and immorality must go together or go hand in hand, supporting each other. Why? Okay, because I know it. Because knowledge without morality is like a man with strong legs, but without eyes. But morality without knowledge is like a man with eyes, but without legs. That is a comparison. This comparison I borrow from the Buddhist text is aimed to tell that there are two persons as a friend, one with eyes but legless, one with legs but blind. The question, how did they do when they want to go anywhere? Two persons stay together, live together. The question, how did they do when they wanted to go anywhere? To go outside and anywhere? The answer, they go together. Namely, the second, one as a leg man performs an action of walking in the direction told by the first man as a man with eyes, who sit on the second shoulders and perform that of telling of the way. Finally, by this method, they reach the destination at the same time. In comparison, knowledge is like the blind but leg man. Morality is like the legless but with eye man. Okay, that is in comparison. I read this comparison for what answer for tell you that you are as scholar of education. You have to recognize the main vision of us who take responsibility for the education management is to make our students complete with eyes and legs. In the modern world, now and next, there will be a lot of challenges against them at intervals. Only knowledge seems not enough. In the beginning, they have to rely on morality. Number one, mindfulness for self-control. Mindfulness for self-control or is called sati in Pali. Number 2, concentration for strength of mind, which is called samadhi in Pali. Number 3, full awareness or wisdom for self-realizing, which called sampajanya in Pali. 3 keywords is very important: mindfulness for self-control, concentration for strength of mind, and full awareness or wisdom for self-realizing. And then the 3 are still accompanied immediately with number 4, moral shame, for feeling ashamed to do wrong by oneself, which we call hiri in Pali. Number 5, and moral dread to be punished by law and society, which called otapa in Pali. The last 2 principles help them know their own interior values and human dignity. How will they be complete with eyes and legs? The answer: it is not difficult to make them have knowledge. On the contrary, it's not easy to make them have morality. Difficult too. However, we should not lose any hope. There remains a way out. Only we don't forget one of educational meanings, that is to train or training for potential. So the morality is naturally created through training. It's okay. Is performed in class, training for knowledge as a fixed system, but training for morality, very necessary for life, is performed in daily life. Actually, it is possibly much helpful if we as teachers start to rethink and redo in that education is life. Training for knowledge in class is life. Training for potential immorality is life too. That is my idea, and perhaps it's idea of yours too. So what I want to know is how to apply the idea in real life. How? That is my question in mind. Okay. For you, please discuss about how and achievement. Thank you. Please return the step to the moderator.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Dr. Banjo Banuruji. And I think your presentation is really eye-opening, and I think it's really complete our today's discussion from the guests. I think it's really collaborative that Dr. Metea has already shared about the disruptions, that disruption is exponential. And with you, with your presentations, I think it's really completed our discussion, because you pointed out the education in Buddhist view, I think. And I think in the modern days, as you mentioned, that we now actually really focused on knowledge instead of morality. Instead, we do have to do much more effort to have morality, I think, because there are a lot of smart people in this world, but with lack of morality. So I think the good point that I basically sum up from your presentation is that it's not really difficult to make people to have knowledge, but it's really difficult and really hard to make them have a morality. I think that's the really good point, that we do really need to memorize, and we we keep in mind for the future of our generation, I think. Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Banjo Banaruji, once again. And I think we have already done the main session, but now let's move on to the Q&A session. In this session, we will have 20 minutes. We will have 20 minutes in the sessions. You can basically ask directly to the distinguished speakers, or you can write down on the chat box below, and I will read them with the help of the operator. You may now ask the questions. You can raise hand. Is there anybody who wants to raise hand and speak directly to the distinguished speakers? Okay, maybe we're going to start from the chat box. From Sofian Saiful Rizal. First questions, how can higher educations in Thailand and Indonesia adapt to technological changes and industry needs during the era of disruptions? And the second one, what is the role of higher education in improving the skills and competencies of graduates to compete in the ever? I think this one is for Banjo, Professor Banjo, for Dr. Metia, I'm sorry, to answer these questions. Would you please answer these questions, Professor Dr. Metia?
Yeah, thank you very much for the question. Yeah, but the first question is something like, could you show me those questions again? Yeah, how can higher education in Thailand and Indonesia adapt to technological changes and industry needs during the era of disruption? Yeah, so what is the role of higher education in improving the skills and competencies of graduates from creating the yeah, so as I pointed out in my speech, that all these new technologies and all these new innovations should be integrated into the educational process of all our countries, Thailand and Indonesia. Because, as I told you earlier, the traditional way of thinking, a conservative way of education or thinking process should be re-evaluated, reimagined, or revised, or in order to answer all these or solve all these problems and all these issues created by this disruptive or this rapidly changing economical and technological advances. So what we can do, as I told you earlier, that just rather than just memorizing, rather than just following the orders and imitating what others have done in the past, the educational system in our countries should integrate those new technologies, those new innovations. For example, ChatGPT. We cannot deny it's very useful, but we should not, and social media, we cannot deny they are useful and they are influencing. They can be used, they can be utilized to support the educational process. We should not deny all those things as ChatGPT. Students should not use ChatGPT. You should read the books, physical books, as the people have ever been doing in the past. That kind of mentality should be abandoned. That kind of mentality should be altered in order to accept all those new technologies. And when it comes to specifically to Buddhism, all those recitations, learning the scriptures again and again is not adequate. that's what we are doing is we are applying those new technologies. ChatGPT, how to use ChatGPT in research, how to use ChatGPT in learning new things, to discuss about new ideas, to gain collective knowledge, summarized knowledge of some issues. These kind of things should be taught to the students in the educational systems, whether it's primary, secondary, or higher educational systems. And also how to use social media. YouTube, it could be those social media could potentially be a very powerful and very beneficial element in education. You need to know something. Just there are so many. You want to improve your knowledge in languages. You can have the first-hand experience by watching YouTube. But you should not restrict the students. Students should not use mobile phones. That should be restricted. You should not be using social media. That is dangerous. You are prone to vulnerabilities. You are prone to scams. Those kind of knowledge should be given. Even the knowledge about scams, when talking about scams, should be given to students. You should be aware of this kind of scams, and these kind of new happenings should be integrated into the curriculum, into the subjects that we are studying in this school settings. That let them be aware of what's happening. Let them be aware of what have emerged. Let them be aware of how to beneficially use those technologies and those instruments, and also to be aware of being what kind of scams, what kind of dangers that also can cause through those same technologies. Like AI can pretend to be somebody and with the same like a live conversation can be conducted with somebody who disguised as somebody This kind of knowledge should be given to the students from in their academic curriculum. So those things should be integrated, and also more technological based knowledge should be integrated into academic curriculum, not just to be learn only about history. All those historical conservative curriculum should all be improved. It should be as I just mentioned, this rapidly changing. So we should the revise of a curriculum where we had done it in 3 years once. Now we have to do it like 6 months or 1 year, do the revisions and integrate all those new elements to start into educational and learning process. So that's my idea on this question. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Metea, for the answer. Are there participants who would love to probably ask again to the distinguished speakers? We still have time for that, I think. Okay, I think we have some of the questions here. Okay, it is from Jenny Kwang. What strategies can be adopted to ensure that the values of critical thinking and ethical reasoning are not lost amidst the rush towards digital transformations?
Could you repeat the question again, please?
Yeah. Could you please, operator, probably display the questions? No? Okay. What strategies can be adopted to ensure that the values of critical thinking and ethical reasoning are not lost amidst the rush toward digital transformation?
Yeah. Directed to whom? To me or to?
Yeah, to Dr. Metea and also Banjo Banaruji, probably.
Maybe Professor would like to answer this question, or maybe.
Yeah, probably start from you first, I think, Dr. Metea, to answer this question.
Yeah. So, would you like to answer, sir, Professor? Yeah, so let me answer briefly first. So, yeah, as I have been presenting throughout my presentation or my talk, that we should not let this rapid change or this disruption, and as I talk about the holistic approach, right? That we should not let this is a very good question, and we shouldn't let that this rush into adopting new technologies and being adapting to the current situation. We should not lose our grounds. We should not let these changes make us to be losing our ethical values, our beliefs, and our norms, our religious values that we adhere to. That's what actually we are trying to do in our Global Buddhism department by integrating, by promoting these Buddhist values to be ethical, to be mindful, to be concerning, to be empathetic, having empathy towards other human beings, understanding their needs, understanding their way of thinking. So that is what I have emphasized throughout my talk, and that's what we are doing at our Global Buddhism program. That's what we are actually concerned about. That's why we have come up with all these pioneering initiatives to promote global Buddhism, is to not let this rush towards technological knowledge make us lose our own values or our own ideas and beliefs based on our own ethical and religious way of thinking, especially in Buddhism when it comes to our own context. So, and that's what we are trying to do. And also, that's why I suggest that we all hold in this firmly hold in this grounded on this way of thinking, that we should not let that rush towards a technological acquiring or technological adaptation to let we lose our own values and our own beliefs and ethical way of morality. As our professor just mentioned, the knowledge should come combined with morality. So we should emphasize, we should be the people who are pioneering, who are guiding, who are leading in this cause of not letting our own this rush or this disruption to lose our positive attributes or to lose our good moral grounds. So that would be my answer.
Okay. Next, probably, I think, thank you very much, Dr. Metia. And we basically have the questions, I think, for Professor Dr. Banjo Banaruji. I think it's really important question too. How do you grow the moral shame to the people? I think the feeling of, like shame that probably related to the morality. How do you grow the moral shame feelings to the people?
Yeah. Moral shame is very important, but based on the mindfulness and concentration and awareness. Okay, if you have mindfulness, if you have concentration, if you have full awareness in your mind with you, okay, that is the best for the occurrence of the moral shame and the moral shame. Because how? Because mindfulness, because mindfulness and full awareness will remind us of our potential, of our duty, of our mission. shame, modern shame, based on this. Why? Because everyone, mankind, everyone love oneself. Okay, most of them love oneself and try to do what themselves they want. Okay, that is according to according to mind. What you think, what you do. You do what you think. Sometimes right, sometimes wrong. Mostly wrong, because we are think under the motivation of mental defilement. Thinking under mental motivation, that is okay. Thinking under the mental defilement based on self based on one self-love. Okay, anyone self-love. Okay, everyone love love self. Okay, you get in part, take part with yourself. Okay, if you have mindfulness, you have idea for the other. Oh, we want happiness. Other want happiness too. Okay. Other want to be good. I want to be good. Other to be good. So we get to be good. Okay. If you think you have mindfulness, you have comprehension, you have full awareness, you can have moral shame like this. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Dr. Banjo Banuruji, for really enlightening answers. And the next questions, I think, from Ibu Darvina. What are the universal Buddhist values supported by scientific research that are suitable for educating the general public, so that the general public is more familiar with the noble values of Buddhist teachings? I think these both questions can be answered by two distinguished speakers, Dr. Metea and Prof. Dr. Banjo Banuruji. And please probably Dr. Metea first to answer the question. I'm sorry, I think you're still in mute mode. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the question. What are the universal Buddhist values supported by scientific research? First of all, which comes to my mind is the metta, loving kindness. There's no need to actually have a scientific backing or scientific research to prove that how valuable and how beneficial and how effective the metta, loving kindness, compassion, karuna, all these values that have forever been promoted by Buddhism. So these values should be advocated, and these values should be promoted. How to be kind, how to be compassionate, how to be empathetic towards others' sufferings, others' concerns, to be concerned about others' needs and others' concerns. And also, when it comes to scientific research back to values, I'd like to say the wisdom or the concentration, the one-pointedness that can be achieved through practicing meditation and mindfulness should be promoted. And as I told earlier, that it has been backed by this modern scientific researchers and modern scientific experiments, that the mindfulness is very beneficial in being concentrated, in being one-pointed to, and also to thinking process, and to overall well-being, overall mental well-being, that reduces anxiety, reduces stress, depression. All these negative mental aspects has been proven to be effectively decreased through the practice of mindfulness. So mindfulness, where integrated or partnered with other Buddhist ethical, moral ideas, I think that will be a next level of another level of effective, that pure mindfulness, not judgmental mindfulness, cannot create, because we are being mindful, being concentrated, having all these physical wellness or well-being, that, and also mental well-being as well. And also when it combines with other Buddhist values of compassion and loving kindness, and also equanimity is another good point that I can recommend to practice, because being equanimous in hardships will make you resilient when you are encountering problems, when you are having problems in your life, or all these destructive forces are working against you. So you can have the resilience of your mind. So that also can be created through mindfulness and the wisdom and understanding of Buddhist knowledge of equanimity. So these kind of values should be promoted and should be integrated in educational areas, and that has also been proven to be effective by modern scientific research as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Metea. Do you have any insight want to be shared? Professor Dr. Banjo Banaruji, so add up.
Yeah. Okay, I agree with Dr. Metea. Okay. If you want to complete the meaning of education, you have to starting from make students have mindfulness and full awareness. To why? Because these two principles help them to think that about the other. Of we love happiness and hate suffering. Other are the same. They hate love happiness and hate the suffering too. Okay, that is my idea, short idea. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Banjo Banaruji. I think we have one more question coming in. Could you please open the question? Okay, why do you think people nowadays are lack of morality? Please, I think Dr. Banjo Banaruji, Prof. Banjo Banaruji.
Okay, well, once again, question, okay?
Yeah.
Why?
Why do you think people nowadays are lack of morality?
Oh, yeah. Because there are a lot of problems in the world. Okay, each problem against happiness, against a peaceful life. That is way to for me to think that the people have a lack of morality.
Okay, thank you, Professor Dr. Banjo Banaruji. And I think I'm really sorry for everyone who is trying to question the distinguished speakers, but I think we have limited time already now. And thank you very much for the participation for today's seminar. I think the main session is already over. Now I give back my time and stage to the MC, Ms. Fania, so that she can proceed to the next final part of the seminar. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your attention and your presence.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Riza, for leading this discussion so well. Well, our event this afternoon is almost over. Before we conclude, as a token of appreciation for the valuable contributions from all of our speakers today, we will now present certificates of appreciation. And we will begin with first Professor Banjok Banaruji.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Today I feel honored to meet with you, scholar from different country in Asia. Okay, I love this. This okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next for Dr. Metea Beliet.
Thank you very much.
And then Dr. Sutrisno, S.IP, M.Si. And then Assistant Professor Dr. Yaoping Liu. And last, Mrs. Adamari Galego Mascarinas. Okay, once again, thank you to the speakers for providing us with valuable knowledge and insights. At the end of this event, we will have a group photo session, and to the participants, please turn off your cameras and give us your best smile. Okay, please turn off your camera and we will take a picture together. And I will start, take from the first slide, second slide, etc. Okay, from the first slide. 1, 2, 3. Second slide. 1, 2, 3. And last slide. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you. Just before we close, we would like to kindly remind all participants to fill out the feedback form that has been shared in the chat box. Okay. Okay, honorable guests, we have reached the end of our webinar. Thank you to all of you who have participated and supported the smooth running of this webinar. And we hope this webinar has been beneficial and opens the way for further cooperation in the future. I, Fania, as the host of today's event, would like to express my gratitude and see you at the next opportunity. Sotihotu Namo Buddhaya. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Don't forget to all participants to fill out the feedback form. Thank you.
Yayasan Dana Pendidikan Buddhist Nalanda berdiri sejak tahun 1976 yang saat ini lebih dikenal dengan Nalanda Foundation. Pada tahun 1978, Yayasan Nalanda mendirikan Akademi Buddhist Nalanda yang berlokasi di kawasan Keramat Raya, Jakarta Pusat dengan program studi Dharma Acarya. Seiring berjalannya waktu pada tahun 1987, Akademi Buddhist Nalanda berubah menjadi sekolah tinggi agama Buddha yang merupakan sekolah tinggi agama Buddha pertama di Indonesia. Tahun 2004, kegiatan perkuliahan dipindahkan ke kampus Nalanda yang beralamatkan di Jalan Global Buddhism nomor 107, Kecamatan Bangkok, Jakarta Timur. Selang beberapa tahun bertambah program studi pasca sarjana Dharma Acarya di tahun 2012 dan program studi strata 1 Dharma Usada di tahun 2013. Mulai dari tahun 2017, Yayasan Nalanda terus melakukan transformasi untuk menjadikan sekolah tinggi agama Buddha Nalanda lebih baik. Selain menambah program studi, penambahan serta perbaikan fasilitas dilakukan dengan mendirikan asrama untuk putra-putri. Selain itu, juga renovasi gedung perkuliahan, pembangunan agar menambah keindahan kampus. Semakin berkembang dengan Yayasan Nalanda menghadirkan 3 program studi baru pada tahun 2022. Hal ini menjadikan sekolah tinggi agama Buddha Nalanda memiliki 6 program studi, yaitu strata 1 dan strata 2 pendidikan keagamaan Buddha, strata 1 Dharma Usada, dan 3 program studi baru, strata 1 ilmu komunikasi Buddha, strata 1 bisnis dan manajemen Buddha, serta strata 1 pendidikan Buddha anak usia dini. Nalanda juga melakukan kegiatan yang menunjang kegiatan akademik dan membentuk mahasiswa berkarakter dan berbudi luhur, seperti kegiatan kuliahan mahasiswa, ujian rutin oleh mahasiswa asrama, bakti sosial, seminar, wisuda sarjana, dan dies natalis. Hal yang menarik dalam kegiatan wisuda adalah tradisi membasuki oleh orang tua, oleh wisudawati. Sejak awal didirikan hingga saat ini, Nalanda telah mencetak ratusan sarjana berkompeten dan berkarakter yang siap mengabdi dalam masyarakat.
Program Ph.D. Global Buddhism ini sangat memberikan dampak yang luas dalam ranah akademik, sosial maupun kebijakan publik, dan harapan kami lulusan dari program ini dapat berperan dalam rumusan kebijakan berbasis nilai Buddhism, menjawab tantangan global, dan juga mencegah terjadinya persoalan konflik antar umat agama atau agama. Selain itu, program ini juga bisa memperkuat posisi Sutrisno Nalanda dalam mewujudkan kerjasama internasional, publikasi ilmiah, serta pusat pengembangan ilmu pengetahuan dan kontribusi bagi akademik dengan kebijakan berbasis kualitas. memberikan dampak yang luas dalam ranah akademik, sosial maupun kebijakan publik, dan harapan kami lulusan dari program ini dapat berperan dalam rumusan kebijakan berbasis nilai Buddhism, menjawab tantangan global.